So hello fellow Earthlings. This is Earthling 6455463728. And I remember, I think it was a while ago, Joe Rogan has had a couple of episodes where he has mentioned transgender kids, and I think maybe that people might have been upset about the discussion that he had with, it was Adam Conover from Adam Ruins Everything. And they were basically talking about transgender youth, and Joe Rogan's position was that at a tender age, these transgender youth would not know whether they indeed want to be a man or woman. And then he'd heard some facts about the idea that some of them change their mind later on in life, and they're upset with having changed over from being woman to man or man to woman. And unfortunately, Adam Conover, while he knew transgender people and he had heard from them that the best thing is for the parents of the child to support their decision, he wasn't really able to fully give a good representation of why. Part of what he ended up saying was that that's what he'd been given to know by his transgender friends. Now, other people that I know have also told me similar stuff. As far as I know, it's based on a report with a very, very small sample size. And it's not really, it's one report that says that a lot of transgender kids change their mind later in life. I personally think that, it's a great idea for more studies or more information to be gathered to help with the decision. But I think what is lacking in Joe Rogan's perspective and a lot of other people's perspective is that we've kind of already covered this ground with respect to gay children. A lot of people have come to realize and accept that ideas and concepts like praying away the gay or gay conversion therapy, they're bad things. They're really bad things because those things aren't really possible. You don't get to change somebody's sexuality based on putting them through a program to try to straighten them out. It doesn't work, and a lot of these people who have to go through things like that, they end up very depressed. They end up, and maybe in some instances, even suicidal about the pressure that is placed on them. They already have pressure from, peers and other people with respect to being gay. Even now, in this day and age, in many developed countries, that still happens. So, for the most part, many people seem to already accept that gay kids know that they're gay, and they don't need to be coerced out of being gay, sometimes from a very young age. But at the same time, we don't accept the same thing when it comes to transgender kids. We don't accept that they know themselves well enough in order to make these decisions. This seems to be a little bit, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Both of those instances, recognizing that one is transgender and recognizing that one is gay, are very difficult choices that people are not likely to make based on a whim or a fancy. People have to go through a lot of struggle, internal struggle, realizing, especially at a time when kids just want to be like everybody else. People are not trying to be unique by being gay and coming out or opening themselves up to a lot of pain and hurt from family, friends, and classmates, colleagues, whoever. That's not something that most people want to do. And another thing with respect to transgender people is that if the family of the child understands and accepts what is happening with them before adolescence, before their hormones kick in, it can be almost a seamless process to become the gender that it is that they want to become. I remember there's a model, female model, who nobody had the slightest clue that they were transgender. I think it was a black transgender woman, and she said that she came out because in order to give support to other kids out there who were going through something similar, because her parents supported her when before adolescence and before hormones really kicked in and cemented many of the aspects of being male, she was able to go on hormone therapy and avoid an Adam's apple. I don't even know, maybe if she was able to get breast naturally as opposed to having surgery and all of these other things. So that's one of the benefits of parents being on board with, I can't remember what it's called, the process of being transgender. I was really kind of disappointed, I guess, in Adam Ruins Everything. Adam Conover. But at the same time, one can't be expected to know every aspect of every subject that one is talking about, which is the reason why he gets experts to be on his show. I really love his show. I wish it would continue indefinitely, but I'm Googling stuff about it to see where it is, if it's going to come back ever, and it seems to have just gone with a whimper. I saw that the ratings had been going down as is to be expected, and I kind of anticipated that this is what would happen, but I hope even if his show doesn't come back, I hope that he's still around, because I really like what he did with his show and how he was able to show so many things that we took for granted and that we didn't really understand. I think it's unfortunate that Joe Rogan doesn't seem to, you can't be focused on too many different things. It seems like he takes a position, and unfortunately I don't see that and this is most people anyway, that he might spend too much time researching a particular topic. I mean, that's what Jamie, the tech guy, is there for. So maybe Jamie knows about it. Probably not, because I think Jamie might. I don't know what his individual tastes might be in terms of doing research or what he might be looking out for. But I was just, even as this corona thing has been going on, it's just a little bit disappointing that a lot of the times I would hear Joe Rogan repeat certain things, and it's there's new information that's coming out in the media, and I'm not really hearing him as if he is learning or making himself aware of the changes or the differences in the information that may have come out since he last saw it. So that's really kind of unfortunate. But at the same time, I'm really happy for him that he is going over to Spotify. He's going to carry over his podcast exclusively to Spotify. I guess that means I'm just not really going to hear it, because I don't use Spotify, and I don't really see a need to go over there just to hear his podcast, really. But all in all, I think that some of these points of view, I think it really is really important that people, especially people with such a prominent position as Joe Rogan, to honestly I wish Adam Conover were in Joe Rogan's position. Honestly, um, I think that's probably pretty unlikely. Even though they're both comedians, now that I think about it, that's interesting. They're both comedians, but yeah, you know, Joe Rogan's a man's man, and Adam Conover is not a man's man. I wish that he had a vantage point to be able to change the world the same way that Joe Rogan did, but part of that is because of persistence. So hopefully Adam Conover will continue and be persistent in his podcast, and at some point in time will have as much a reach as Joe Rogan, because I think it's important for, especially for what, the information that is available. It's out there. And even not information, it's just a similarity. There's a similarity between transgender people, transgender kids, and gay kids. And we should just be able to use our logic to at least come from a more sensible point of view than thinking, oh, you can't trust kids to know themselves. We can't trust kids to know themselves, even when they're the ones that have to go through the heartache and the difficulty of saying, I'm transgender. I would never want to be a woman. And let's say there was a right that men were to be men were to become women and women were to become men. Maybe I would follow along, but my brain is telling me that for the longest while I've always really been okay with being a guy, and I've always really never had an interest in men. So I know that, and nobody needs to tell me or check with me again or anything like that. So I wish that we would go ahead and do some studies, but at the same time trust people to know who they are at the same time. Anyway, guys, you can wish me luck. You can like or unlike, comment, subscribe, and or share, and of course you can do nothing. Peace.